Why do you think most marriages in the African American community don't work?
It's a mix of a lot of different factors. I'll keep it to a few.
Okay.
One, the institutions of slavery, um, the indoctrination of irresponsibility, the way we raise our children, the difference between the way we raise our boys and the difference between we raise our girls. Let me start with the institution of slavery. After slavery, you had sharecropping, you had situations in which you have indoctrinated, ingrained systemic racism to where our grandparents, great grandparents, stuff like that, are in survival mode. They've been in survival mode their whole lives, and that system affects the way they think. It affects emotions. It affects the way they raise their children. So back then, we were in relationships to survive. Like you can be a two-parent household and you have to stay together, regardless, because that's the only way you're surviving. But then, that's the only way you're surviving. But then when it came to up into the 60s, 70s, you have the welfare programs where you have, I remember a movie called Claudine with Diane Carroll, in which it's a song by Gladys Knight called Mr. Welfare Man. And she said, "Stay away from me, Mr. Welfare Man." You know, and that comes from the situation in which it was law, it was dictated that if you had a man in your home, that you got less from the welfare department.
Okay.
So it was more advantageous for the black woman to be without a man, because if the caseworker came and saw that you had more than you had before, if a man was giving you gifts, helping support you financially, then you couldn't get as much from the state. Now the state is constant. You'll get that check every month. You'll get that check every couple of weeks. But this man who is a victim of this systemic racism, a victim of the same policies and procedures that put us in this place, his paycheck or the relationship is not as guaranteed. So if you're in survival mode and you're thinking about survival yourself as well as your children, it's more guaranteed and it's more secure-wise to be a recipient of this welfare than to take a chance on this man in this relationship. So with that, the indoctrination of you don't need a man, and at that point you did not need a man for survival. So fast forward into that was what was precipitated. So fast forward to the 70s, 80s, that attitude is still there. And then also the way that black men or black children are raised. You got black boys, you got black girls. Black girls are taught to protect themselves and to keep their legs closed, to be independent, to be strong, because that's what they're gonna have to do. Black boys have been taught to not taught the same level of responsibility, not taught the same level of responsibility to themselves as well as to black women. So you're not taught to protect black women. You feel what I'm saying? You're not taught that this black girl is your responsibility. Like every other community, you see a white male, you see a Hispanic, you see a Asian, and what have you. They are taught to protect their own. We're not taught that. You know what I mean? So we're still in survival mode when it comes to that. So we're not taught to be accountable to the well-being of black girls and to protect these black girls who turn into black women. So we're taught just do whatever. And I'm not talking about like in my own situation, I'm talking about systemically. We're not taught responsibility to ourselves as well as responsibility to black women. We're not taught to protect them. So that attitude permeates. And then if you have black women who are taught to be independent, and then you have black men who are taught, or black boys who are taught to be, then it don't really work like that. So those attitudes come together, and then yes, I might be attracted to you, I might love you, I might want you in my life, but do I know how to love you? No, I don't. Do you know as a woman how to fully accept my love or fully hold me accountable to being responsible for you and be responsible for our household and be responsible for our future? You don't know how to do that because you've been taught to be independent. So at the end of the day, the black woman is my responsibility, and we ain't been taught that.